Hmm. Hi, Drex. I don't think so. Oh, My camera's being an ass, but that's it. Hello. Hi, Pagan. I see you over on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. My chat overlay isn't picking. Crochet Dyson sphere. I have a crochet bumblebee. That's pretty close to a Dyson sphere, I think. Basically the same. My God, this camera's exposure is... I totally didn't play Dyson while you were. And I definitely didn't get the yellow cubes figured out and make an intergalactic post office. Definitely not. Yellow! Yes. It's so... Why has it been so finicky today? I'm fine, thanks, AJ. Okay, I'm just gonna have to stop messing. A button. Working? Yes. Perfect. Okay. Oh man, I keep on looking at meaning to like double check instructions for one particular stitch and getting about. At this pace, the shawl will be completed in 3 years. Maybe. Hi, Nanya. Nanya. Congratulations on your new babies. I require pictures. Oh my gosh. Why are we here? Close enough. The cafe plant nursery sounds lovely. Why that's been so difficult. Hi, Luna. Why are you being like this? Yeah, it sounds lovely. Oh my gosh. Are we just like super tense today or what? Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's it. We're tense today. It's fine. We're good. Are you? I am going to stab you. Well, I guess technically I am already. Okay, there we go. We're doing great. Okay. Let go of the stabbies. Oh, I love your new babies. Oh, they all look like they'd have really nice, like, the leaves would be nice to touch. Very sort of sensory. So we might be okay. All right, well, good luck. I've managed to keep a couple of plants going for a short while in my room, but it's just too dark. And I had a grow light, which helped. But the problem was with the grow light, I had it like a schedule, so it would come on for a certain number of hours. But every time we'd lose power, the light would go off schedule and I'd just forget to turn it back on. Because the point of having a light on a schedule is that you don't have to think about it. But the last plant I had was a bromeliad, which is like a very stabby, a very stabby plant. Well, the thing is, my room has a massive awning over the window, so there's very, very little natural light in here. Listen, just because I come into your stream and sass you, it absolutely means that's how our friendship is. So what I've done instead, let me show you what I have instead of a plant. This is like the ultimate Dell cheat. You'll have to find the grub. So yeah. So I put privacy screen on my window, like a pretty prism privacy screen, and then I got these like plant decals and put them on so it looks this is my fake plants. Yeah. Yeah, I can't kill them. I mean, they peel off. And then the screen in the background is what makes it, gives me my room, my little rainbows. But these were just like, there's some little butterflies. My ghost boot, yeah. But that way I get like a little bit of green. So like, otherwise, my room is just so dark. Because it's like I've got an awning over the window, and then we're on the west side of I'm on the west side of the house, and then we've got a fence right there as well. So like, it's hot, but it's very shady. So that's my cheat's way of having plants in my room. But yeah, the temperature in here, like you're saying, Drags, it gets so hot in here as well, and so cold. Like this room swings between like, I don't know, like 45 and 95 during the year. And I don't know of any plants that can do that temperature variation with low light. Buffalo, hello. Apart from bamboo, yes, that's right, Flint. Yeah, there's What were you doing in your room, Flint? The amount of sounded like you were building something. The massive stand of bamboo outside the window, but that's not inside. You have a problem of a certain. Oh, okay. A certain not so little Kona who likes to munch plants. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that makes sense. I thought maybe you were building something amazing for my birthday, which is on Saturday, just in case you forgot that my birthday is on Saturday, Flint. Did you know my birthday's on Saturday, Flint? Yeah. Saturday. My birthday's on Saturday. Flint. I'm just making it easy. Just making it easy. I will. What? And then Drax isn't far off that either. All the cool people have their birthdays in like early to mid January. September, yeah. November. I'm I like to have a treat on the day, I think. Luna's asking for friends. Why is it? Because someone you know has a birthday coming up? Who would that be? I mean, if I had a gift arrive early, I'd probably wait until that's true. Drax does have a birthday coming up soon. If it arrived early, I'd probably wait for my birthday to open it. But later's fine too. Oh my god, we both have party emotes. This is amazing. I don't have any wins with my face though. Well, I mean, it's okay to not work on brainy things. So this morning, I was totally not playing Dyson. While Drax was playing Dyson. But if I were, I could say that I made some great progress. What excuse you, what are you doing? Like a big box of like depends what sort of currants, Buffalo. Like black currants? Yes. Yellow jello has been set up, and I made a couple of post offices in a pleasing arrangement. It wasn't my fault. I blame Drax. My fingers were getting twitchy. And I was like, I want to play too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 13. 14. Oh, I am definitely high tension today. It's so pretty. I know, I keep forgetting about it, and then I'll pick it up and I'll be just like, fuck's sake, stop it. Stop it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, that's not where I want you. Here. Okay. So we've done 16 YOLOs. And a tool YOLO. And then another YOLO. And now we have to do a turning chain. Yeah, I don't know. Like I was saying, I mean, I keep saying it, is I work on it and I'm looking at like, you know, this much. And then I'll put it down or I'll look at OBS and I'll be like, oh, because the preview in OBS is like pretty small. So it means I can see the whole thing quite tightly. And I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Otherwise, I'm just seeing like the little, you know, up close what I'm working on. Hi, Noom. Oh, you got a ray of sunshine. I love that. We had to swing through Walmart just before, and I swear, I mean, I don't care about where we shop. We needed to go and grab a few bits and pieces, but my head hurts now. There's people everywhere. We haven't been in there in months. We've been using, groceries wise, we've been using Kroger for delivery because they didn't charge, the delivery fees were really good and they could deliver up until like 11 o'clock at night, which is perfect. But they're closing in Florida, which sucks. So we've only got like a couple of days left if we want to do groceries. Oh, that's really cute, Luna. Yeah. So they had, basically Kroger had this weird, like they didn't have any brick and mortar stores. They only had delivery. So they had one massive dispatch center or distribution center in Lake City, I think. And then they had some satellites around the state that they would then use as hubs for deliveries. And apparently they didn't make enough money. So they're pulling out of Kroger, pulling out of Florida, which sucks. because it's just been so nice. Like their store brand stuff is like really good quality, and the price, you can see, like we could pay like 95 cents and get our stuff delivered at 11 o'clock at night, which is perfect for us both, you know, with streaming. I've seen that hat pattern made a couple of times, and it always looks really cool. I can also see Jay wearing that hat. Probably Publix, which is like quite expensive unless you get oh, there you go. Unless you get with coupons, Publix is quite expensive. But they do have good buy one get ones. I mean, there's like a Costco here, but just in terms of convenience, like we also liked Kroger because it meant we didn't have to go into a store, which is something that we're still very much aware of with Bonus Mum, like not wanting to bring home nasty viruses from nasty public. So we'll have to just do a nosy. I think there's like, yeah, ew, strong first comment for the day, Ravi. I like it. It was somewhere else. It wasn't Winn-Dixie. Maybe it was Oldie or Littles or someone who started doing deliveries. I'm hoping someone will fill in the gap. Yeah, Ravi's coming in hot, laying down truths. I mean, we can always just go back to doing the actually, Amazon have started offering Winn-Dixie deliveries here, which is bizarre because our local Winn-Dixie also closed, which is like another southern grocery chain. Bizarre. They get all the way to the end. But yeah, I mean, we may just have to start doing the curbside again at Walmart, which honestly was fine. And, you know, let them do the groceries and then we just go pick it up and sit in the car. Because that's just so much easier as well. Like on days where I'm not able to walk very well, just being able to wait in the car is perfect. And I swear every time I go into the public, I get come back home with a snuffly nose. Usually, even when we try and do outside stuff, we avoid going inside places. My phone's like, how was Walmart? It was Walmart. What do you think? 2, 3. That ain't right. Oh. What? Something's gone wonky there. I mean, I don't particularly like shopping Walmart, but that is the nearest place for us in our budget too. So we may just have to suck it up. Supposed to have 2 left there. 1, 2. Oh, fuck it. We'll just do this. This is fine. Perfect. Look, 16. Ta-da! Exact right number of stitches. I mean, their lights are pretty awful. But I'd like to not shop there, but it's the only place that we can, you know, we can afford to do groceries at. So we don't really have the luxury of being too. I'm sorry it makes you uncomfy though, Buffalo. That's not great. Last time you went into a Walmart, you were in line behind. Oh dear. Well, that's probably made that Clark a lot, but like very relieved, Ravi. Oh, that's good, Luna. Yeah, I think I need to start looking for gluten-free stuff to try. I did a little experiment um over a few days, and I had like 3 days where I didn't have any like floury things, and then I had you know, a burger or something, and I'm pretty sure that's a trigger now. I don't know, maybe. We're getting like a lot of like mum and pop shops opening up here in Jacksonville. Especially like in some of the funnily enough, in some of the areas where there's food deserts where none of the big box stores want to go into, you're seeing a lot of like family owned stores opening, whether it's like small grocery stores or um like bookshops and cafes and stuff that are starting to open that sort of focus on the local community, which is kind of cool. So maybe, yeah, I think I may need to give that another try. I say one nice thing, like Publix is more expensive, but it does have like the customer service is usually pretty good. Um, but the one thing that I do like about them is that they're employee owned. So they get staff don't get discounts, but they have shares in the company. Um, and I feel like it kind of gives staff a bit of ownership, I think, and a chance to have a bit of a pride in their workplace. I don't know. I feel like that's something that happens everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure I've encountered, I didn't know that they were called food deserts, but I'm pretty sure I've experienced that as well. Like, there's parts of um, South Auckland where uh, a lot of the larger stores won't operate because, you know, it costs too much for security, blah, blah, blah. And these are areas that are predominantly Maori and Pacific Island in the population, lower socioeconomic areas. And usually what happens is a local group will, like the local pa will step in, like a marae or somewhere will step in and fill in the gap. But I'm pretty sure food deserts are everywhere you have poor people that the rich people don't want to acknowledge. It's usually when you get co-op gardens popping up as well. Yeah. Because they'll have like the little shops and then the big box will go in, the big grocery stores, and then they'll pull out and there's no one left. The grocery stores in New Zealand are insane. Like, America thinks they've got the monopoly on monopolies. The whole grocery store supermarket thing in New Zealand is fucking bonkers. The whole of the country, there's basically 2 companies that own all stores. And they each have a range going from like budget store to premium, but like 2 companies. And what's even crazier is they have somehow managed to get these like overarching sort of rights to grant permission for what goes on nearby. So you could have like a big Westfield mall, for instance, and a grocery store will be in there, like a Walmart type thing. They'll have a grocery store attached. And then if the mall wants to add a boutique candle shop, for instance, or a store that sells soaps, or God forbid, a store that sells like specialist food, the grocery stores have a right to veto these smaller stores from opening nearby. So a grocery store can go, you can't open up a little candle shop because it's going to compete with my product. Yeah. And it's the whole of New Zealand, these 2 grocery store companies. It's crazy. And it can be like they have so much power in like the city councils and so much money that the little mum and pop shops who want to open the candle store or their organic veggie stores, they can't compete. But that's what's going to push them out into the suburbs where the big stores have gone in and then left. So that balance may shift. But it's been like that in New Zealand for decades. The monopolies in New Zealand are great, like just, I keep saying crazy, but they really are. Like up until well into the 2000s, there was one telecommunications company that owned all of the copper loop in the country, one mobile company that was partly owned by the telecoms company, and even now pretty much all of the copper loop of New Zealand is owned by this one thing. They keep changing their name, but it's still the same company. Because New Zealand's so small and so insular, it's all you need is like 1 foot off the starting block and you're away laughing. And that's why everything is so expensive in New Zealand. But I didn't realize how bad it was until after I left and I was listening to a podcast. And it was like this little like local grocery store basically tried to sue to have the rights to build next to a mall, and they weren't allowed to. I mean, I will tell you 100%, New Zealand is like 1,000,000 times better than the States. It's just, people are people. People are kind of people no matter where you go. It's just that the problems are of a different scale in New Zealand. And I think it's basically a couple of decades behind in the trends. But yeah, people gonna people. Like, And governments are going to government. So, you know, rich Americans can buy a land in New Zealand. they already have a golden visa in New Zealand for rich American people. But as a whole, it's still a better place than the States. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's delusional. It's just it's nice to have hope, you know. I think it's nice to think that somewhere on the face of this planet are some good people. And there's lots of good people. Look at everyone in here. We're all good people living all around the world. And we're just people. Just people have the power. But yeah, the like Peter Thiel, I don't know how to say his name, owns land in New Zealand. They specifically changed the laws to make that you had to invest a certain amount of money into the local economy and then you're allowed to become a landowner. Like him.com, I don't even know if he's even a running concern now. There was this whole thing about him in New Zealand because he'd invested money and bought this fancy house and I don't know. But one advantage of New Zealand being small is that a lot of new things get to work there that wouldn't work elsewhere. And that's, I mean, I think that still stands though, Buffalo. Like, if you look at how well Jacinda Ardern managed the COVID lockdown in New Zealand, and by virtue of its isolation and location, hundreds of thousands of lives were saved. And you know, I think that still makes it feel that hope, that place of hope. And a lot of technologies are tried out in New Zealand first. So like debit cards was one of those things that was tried in New Zealand first before it went anywhere else in the world because the network was small enough. And it's, you know, a lot of environmental stuff happens there first in terms of environmental protection and conservation, especially with it being so close to Antarctica and the, you know, having the Pacific Ocean there. There's still lots of good stuff. Okay, Mr. Stitchy. 1, 2. But I didn't realize how expensive food was in New Zealand until I came to the States. You know, when you live with it, you don't really think about it. And then I came to the States and it's like, oh my God, food is so cheap and so big and so cheese is glorious because I love cheese. So big and so cheese. But then also bear in mind that my experience of New Zealand is now like 15 years old. So anything that I say about New Zealand is literally shaded with nostalgia and not up-to-date information. I'm pretty sure the New Zealand that I experienced is not what's there now. Time doesn't work like that. Yeah, just a couple of, yeah. I left in 2007. So it has been a while. No, you weren't even born yet. Exactly. God, it's almost 20 years. Oh my God, it's almost 20 years ago. Crazy. Three, four. Yeah. Well, I think a lot. I don't know the streamer, and that's fine. But I will say that I've heard a lot of people in New Zealand with some. New Zealand's got a. New Zealand people have a really. We have this thing in New Zealand called tall poppy syndrome. And as a whole, it gets used a lot with high profile characters. So tall poppy syndrome is basically you encourage someone to achieve their goals. And when you get them, when they get there, then you basically undercut them. And it's a really very, very Kiwi thing to do. And after I left the country, I realized that we do that with everything in the country. So even when things are going really, when things do go really well, New Zealanders will still be like, oh yeah, but it's a bit shit though, isn't it? You know? Like, yeah, we won the Rugby World Cup, but our rugby team was a bit crap. Like, what was that loose forward doing? And we kind of apply that same mentality to everything. It's just this weird cultural thing that New Zealanders have got. I don't know why. I don't know where it started from. But what it means is that a lot of it tends to polarize Kiwis a lot more. It tends to radicalize Kiwis into being even more extreme one way or the other. So you've got like you absolutely have the right wing nuts and the left wing nuts in New Zealand, but it feels like everything is more pendulum swingy, and I'm pretty sure it's the tall poppy thing that does it, or at least that's what it was in my experience. I don't know. Auckland is a weird place as well because Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand, and it's made up of like 5 different cities all sort of blended together, kind of like Jacksonville is now. But they all of these different parts of Auckland have really different socioeconomic structures and makeups. So there's parts of it that are really well off. Yeah. And then there's parts of it that are like dirt poor. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, I'm just so mindful of that my lived experience is so out of date. And I didn't realize how rose-colored lensed I was looking at things until I left as well. It's weird. I don't know quite what I'm trying to say. Like, I have no doubt things are fucking terrible. If it's a dumpster fire everywhere, for sure. Like, there's no avoiding that. But yeah, I don't know. New Zealanders do have a weird way of processing things. Yeah. I think that's kind of a sort of a self protection kind of thing as well, though. Like, it's easier if you just think everything's fine. But I didn't realize how racist it was in New Zealand until I left. And that was a kick in the pants. It's super racist in New Zealand. But all I'd had exposure to really was my white privilege. And so when I left and came to the States and saw what was happening here, and then I was drawing parallels with my experience in New Zealand, and I was like, oh, fuck. And all of a sudden I was aware that I was doing all these microaggressions that I hadn't even considered. The Kiwis like to be like, oh, New Zealand's not racist. New Zealand's really fucking racist. They might frame it differently, but it's really fucking racist. Crazy. Especially when I think about some of the language that I heard used in front of me as a child. And now I'm just like, oh no, they would not be good now. One thing, though, I will give New Zealand is that Kiwis like to travel, and some of them go home. And then we go home with the knowledge that we've gained while traveling of other parts of the world and other people. We bring that back with us, and we share that. And then we can use that to grow. I don't know. I feel kind of a bit leathery and like I'm not really making sense. Or I'm not really sure what I was trying to get across there. It doesn't help, but yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted about New Zealand now, I think, where I was getting with it. It's still great. It's still a great place. It's still a wonderful place. It's still a million times better than the States. But yeah. It's got some work to do. I'm still very proud to be a New Zealander. Like, I bawled my eyes out when I saw Jacinda Ardern when she got elected Prime Minister. I was just so proud of everything that it accomplished and that it represented. I'm discovering that my marking system on this pattern may not be as effective as I thought it was. I found that flicking the yarn like this is like the best way of like leveling out the weird buckling that I was getting. Still can't get over how pretty this is. I think I'm partly paranoid, not paranoid, overly self-aware about expressing how I feel about these things. Out of it. Because I don't have anyone else here in New Zealand to call me out and be like, no, that's wrong. No, you're wrong. It is super pretty. I don't know, man. See, like, back when I was at university, 20-something years ago. Why did I say that? I joined the Young Labour Party, which is Labour is left wing. In New Zealand, you've got the Labour and the National Party. Labour is left wing, National is kind of right wing. And then you've got like the Greens. They're the same everywhere in the world. And then you've got like New Zealand First and the Māori Party and a bunch of other ones that sort of fit in between. Now, New Zealand electoral system is really interesting. It switched to a system called MMP when I was in my teenage years, which basically forces governments to form a coalition. So you don't have one party in predominant power. You might have like 2 or 3 parties that are forced to work together and compromise to lead, which I think is fantastic. But I was a member of the Young National Party, Young Labour Party, and one of the things that we had access to as university students in Wellington is we could go down to Parliament whenever we wanted, pretty much. I mean, anyone could. You could just walk into the Beehive, which is like the main building in New Zealand where all the government stuff is, the chamber for voting and all that sort of stuff. And we'd just wander around the halls of the Beehive after being at the pub, bunch of 20-something-year-old drunk idiots, and think nothing of it. And it's like, I bet you can't do that now. Like, I don't think we ever had our bags searched. I absolutely walked head on into Bill English, I think it was, which is one of he was like police minister or something. I was drunk and just barreling down a hallway and just like full on like, well, he didn't fall over, but I don't know how he didn't fall over. Probably because I was wasted. Just wandering, just randomly wandering the streets, the hallways. And so like that's where my recollections lie, not like the reality of now, where 15 years, like this was before, maybe before 9/11 or around then, so it was before everything like crazy lockdown. Kind of bonkers that they'd let you do that. It was kind of cool knowing I had access, so if I really wanted to, I could just go and see, literally go up and like rock up to the local MP's office and be like, hey, so, what's up? I talked through, I did. Yeah. Yeah, Jacinda Ardern was a hell of a person. And I loved how she would like fire up too. If someone would be like, make a comment on her clothing, she'd be like, would you do this if I was a man? No, so why are you doing this to me? How is this relevant to my job as Prime Minister? I'd be like, fuck yeah. And she was the same when she got asked questions about her pregnancy and motherhood. She's like, it's not affecting me doing my job, ask me something relevant. I love these colors. And the funny thing is, I think I had people ask if I want to go back. And I don't know that I do. I like my memories. And I know if I went back now, it would be completely different. Like, I'd recognize the structure, but I wouldn't recognize the people. And I think I'd find that quite heartbreaking. I think if I were given the option to go elsewhere, I'd probably go back to the UK. Just going back to the East Coast? Yeah. I guess that's probably a common sort of feeling about childhood home. But like, I haven't stayed in contact with anyone back there, and you know, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, hypothetically, yes. I mean, my sister is there. I love my sister dearly, but other than that, no. I mean, there's people there that I would love to catch up with, but some of them are still doing the same shit as they did when they left high school. But I know, I was just like, oh, okay. I know I look up a couple. I've looked up a few people over the last couple of years, that people that I knew back home, and I think 20 years or just shy of 20 years is long enough that I think it would be a it's too long to cover in a so what have you been up to? Hey, how you doing? What have you been up to? Well, for the last 2 decades, I was bad. I cut off contact from everyone. I literally up and left. I only told a few people when I left the country. There were some people I should have told and I didn't. There was one friend who I didn't tell, and I was posting pictures of my travels when I was traveling from train from LA to New Orleans. And I was on the train, and the train stopped in San Antonio, and it was a really pretty night with all the, San Antonio is a really pretty city. So I was taking photos, and I posted them on Facebook, and my friend's like, "What are you doing in San Antonio?" And I was like, "Oh." So I didn't tell you, but I bought a one-way ticket out of my country. I've gone now. I'm left. I've left. I've left forever. I never intended to go back. It was 100% an intentional one-way ticket left. I've always had bad luck trying to rekindle relationships. Yeah, like, and it's fun to reminisce over those shared experiences, for sure. But it's natural for, people to change and grow over time or regress. But yeah, I think I knew full well when I left New Zealand that I wasn't going back. My intention was leave New Zealand, travel across the States, and then live in England and have access to Europe from England. And that would have been the case, except for some jerk I met when I was in England who happened to live in the States. He went and scuppered all my plans. Met this cute guy online. Rude. And all of a sudden, I'm back in the bloody US. Jerks. Hi, Baron. Damn jerks. Hello. I was just minding my own business, being a gamer girl, doing gamer girl things. And Flint came along. But I'd lost my place in my pattern because I've been waffling on about random crap. I definitely feel more homesick for the UK though. I loved it there. I may have had like some really awful experiences in the UK, but I loved it as well. Good, I hope you're doing well today. Feeling better. One, two, three. Wait. Why are you being like that? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, yummy. He got fixings today at the store for me to make my breakfast casserole that I haven't made in a while. I'm quite looking forward to that. Yeah. Not picky. Eh. Where'd you go? 2, 3, 4, 5. This tension is killing me. Here. Right. And here. Eh. I promise this pattern isn't actually difficult, it just I'm making it that way. Here, leaving 4. 1, 2, 3. Yep. I think we're doing better when I'm not trying to think about what I'm doing. That's worth it as a treat, though, occasionally. Why are you being like, oh, oh shit. I was getting caught on the bottom of the butler here. There you go. May have to, if I can get some nail polish or something on that just to stop it from catching. Maybe I can add a... Oh, you know what would work? Next time I use it, if I get like a milk bottle or a soda bottle or something and just put it as a bowl before I put it on the spike, and that'll stop the yarn from getting caught underneath it. Like the bottom scoopy bit of a Coke bottle, that kind of thing. Oh, spool is a good guess. Technically it's in this instance it's a cake. And I'm still on the first one. I'm about halfway through the first cake. And I have 5. Each one is each one is 475 yards. Yeah. Cake. Usually if it's shaped like this, it's considered a cake. But also skein is another one. Yeah, 500 yards. Which is just over 5 ounces. This purple cardi that I made used 2,000 yards for approximately it weighs 2 pounds. Rob, thank you. Three, 4. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. We'll I have to see though. We do have plans for that day, but they're not birthday type plans. But I have put in an official request to be spoiled like a princess. So, and he does take good care of me. I'm a simple girl. I don't need a lot. I cannot get over how this pattern looks. Oh gosh. A Royal Roller Derby Championship? No, but good guess. Yeah, my roller derby name is actually Alley Cat. You're a very good guesser. Simple Drax, I don't need a lot. You know, I think numbers on a lottery ticket. uh Well, I mean, do you think they'd have have a choice? Buffalo? Last year, what I really wanted to do, I don't know if they had it this year available this year. I didn't look, but last year they had this thing where basically you could get taken around Daytona by a professional driver, and I love speed. Yeah, there's no rules. As long as you've got PPE on, it's probably fine. But yeah, I absolutely love speed. And one day when I grow up, I wanna go around a track with a professional driver. That's goals. Yeah. I had um I had a friend of mine back home who had his racing license for basically like domestic cars rather than professional race cars. But you still needed to have a proper license to go out on the track. And he'd take me out, like we'd have like proper clothes and like, even though I was in the passenger seat, I'd still have a helmet and gloves and neck protection and all that sort of stuff on. Um, but my other friends always knew when I'd been on the track because the rest of the day I'd just be like adrenaline would just be like pumping and I'd just be like bouncing around like Hammy the squirrel and over the hedge. I'd just be like bouncing off the walls just from the speed. Um when I left New Zealand, and the plane was taking off, um the feeling of acceleration when the plane is building up speed to take off and you get pushed back into the chair. I love that feeling so much of the acceleration that I was crying. And the woman next to me was trying to console me, and I was just like bawling my eyes out because I was so happy. And I was like, no, I'm happy. Ugly crying because I was so excited about just enjoyed the acceleration and knowing that we'd be going like 600 miles an hour. I kind of, I like speed a little bit, speed and acceleration. I may have a problem. May have a problem. Oh my god, Buffalo, Flint took me to Cape Canaveral. I don't know how long ago it was to watch a nighttime shuttle launch. And we went on one of the shuttle, there's like a shuttle sim that they have there that you can get into. And it was the same. I was literally just like tears streaming just because it was just such an amazing experience of just the imitation shuttle launch. I was just like, can we go again? Can we go again? It was great. It was so funny. They were like, it was a pretty large building that this ride was in, but they were like specifically said to everyone, empty your pockets. Because whatever doesn't get emptied out of your pockets is going to end up on the floor. And as soon as they tilted the chairs back, you just heard this ding, 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 as everyone's money and keys and all that sort of shit fell out of their pockets. Right. But yeah, that feeling of acceleration. Cannot get enough of it. Or do you mean like the vomit comet? Because that would be pretty fucking fun too. I'd enjoy that. Mm. Amazing. Right? Aren't brains cute? I like amazing. Sorry, clever. That sounds really cool. To be clear, when I was saying about like crying from the acceleration when I was leaving, I'd flown before. I used to frequently fly between Wellington and Auckland when I was little, so I was comfortable and familiar with planes. And also, my stepfather had a private pilot's license. So at no point have I ever been scared of flight. Like, I love flying. I love looking down over everything looking like toys. I love seeing the clouds and the sky and the speed, like the whole freaking lot. I love it. Thanks, Toby. Yeah, this is actually a really beautiful pattern. And every time I put it down to look at it, I just get completely flummoxed at, you know, how gorgeous it is. I really need to give myself a button. Um, there's a link in the channel description, I think, with a pattern. Oh, hang on. If you're curious, that is the links in chat there. That's the pattern and the yarn that I'm using. No, this is a gradient. This is the skein, the yarn that I'm using. Yarn is doing all the heavy lifting for the color changing. I don't have the patience to be doing that many joins. But yeah, those links there are the yarn and the pattern. Not sponsored in any way, shape or form, just sharing links for info. It's been a really interesting pattern to me because I've never done short rows before, which is the structure of this pattern. And this is the most complicated pattern that I've ever worked on, though now I'm used to it. It's not very complex. I'm familiar with it now, I should say. But I've not used this yarn before either, so it was a whole lot of firsts. But it's with this yarn, it's just such a delight seeing the colors come through and just like seeing how they work with each other. Well, that one went better. I'm telling you that strumming it like a guitar string is absolutely the best way to like even the thread out. Stop it from getting all weird and gunky. Pumped up. I'm starting to remember little segments of the pattern as well. Interesting. Just based on relation to like other stitches. which I think is probably where it's going to start getting dangerous. So, like, I know here I should have 4 stitches without looking at the pattern. If something's not right here, so maybe I don't understand it as well as I thought I did. Like, this all looks right. Unless... It was accurate. Okay. See, I got cocky and now I'm like, oh. I think I got ahead of myself. 1, 2. I did get ahead of myself. Okay, so I was actually doing the right thing. So maybe I do know what I'm doing. But now I don't know if I cut myself out or not. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Turning chain. A game that will only take 12 hours to play. I mean, there's always like roguelite ones that are just like short runs that you can pick up and put down as you want. Like the bullet hell ones, like, or like Brotato or Hades or something. Or do you want like a narrative game with a story in it? Why is there no? I don't think that's shameful to admit. Not at all. If you don't like the genre, you don't like the genre. All right, well, there you go. Wait, is that the one where you've got to deliver donuts? I think, yeah, that looks cute. Yeah, yeah. I think Drex does a video on that as well, maybe. I know I saw Ravi play it. Ravi streamed this one. It looks cute. It's creative, but it's got a bit of direction. Good reviews. I said, I don't know, the most, I've only bought 2 games this year or last year. One was Foundry and one was Dyson. So I got influenced. I think so. I mean, that's okay too, for sure. It's totally fine just to play a game for the sake of playing without a specific goal in mind. I made yellow jello today, Buffalo. And a post office. No, not real jello. I don't like real jello. I'm uncomfortable with its texture. I don't like the way it moves. Well, yeah, I was being reticent about travel, but just because I was getting near the end of stream and I didn't want to start another big project. But once I figured out about getting off the planet and got the titanium set up on the other planet, I was way laughing. And then I realized that I had what I needed, mostly, so. Okay. Getting off planet is DSP's version of Victoria's oil. Yeah. Well, it kind of feels like that's like the end of the tutorial, right? Like once you get off, once you've figured out the mechanics on the planet, then it's just a matter of like expanding and getting more materials and unlocking more things. Yeah, it's very much that. Like, oh god, now what have I done? I was a little dubious, but I got like the little, like I said, I got the little towers set up. And I think going with the no frogs is helpful as well. I don't think I'll ever turn the frogs on. We have no frogs in my space, thank you. Why are you doing that again? My yarn butler is misbehaving again. One, two, three, 6. Here. This one. And it. I'd be curious to see what this was like in a more regular yarn. I feel like part of the pushback with this yarn is just how variable it is. In terms of texture. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. Okay. And that should give me 16 remaining. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Eight. Okay, yes. Okay, so what I was worried about before is I'd basically got ahead of. Yeah, so the texture is the only thing that's really giving me a bit of pushback or resistance in this pattern. Like the colors are easy, the pattern, I'm comfortable with the pattern now. But the actual texture of the yarn is a little tricksy. So I'm learning how to manage it. So that's a good skill to be into. Like I said, I just have to, when it starts doing this bunching, I just have to strum it like a guitar string, pull it taut. And it levels out. Okay. Better. Okay, I am going to take this ad break, which is popping up because I didn't take my first one. I waffled through it on whatever weird kiwi flavored soapbox I was on. So stand up and have a little stretch, get a drink, grab a snack, look away from your screen just for a little bit. And when we come back, we're going to keep on working on this fun little shawl. I'll see you back here shortly. Alrighty. I'm dropping birthday party hats. I don't know what I've got on this button. A bee boogie. Okay, where am I? I like this little, like, eel bit that comes on here. Thank you. Getting chilly. It's getting chilly, I say, as I look. It's 20 degrees in my room, and I'm like, it's 54 here. I will never not be confused. I would never be consistent with my temperature either. Sorry, 55. This weather is so confusing. Like, you know, it was like 30, like 48 here. And then on my birthday, it's up to 80 degrees again. And then a couple of days later, it's back down into the 30s. Like, what the heck? I know, it's bonkers. It's this weird polar wobble thing that's going on or something. At 80, I'm like, oh god, I'm not looking forward to summer. Wait, what now? No. Oh, you mean that little bit in the air? Oh, up there? I'm guessing they've just used this river here as a border for the state. Of Jacksonville? Oh, there. Is that the bit you're talking about? Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit drunken, isn't it? It follows a river. The St. Mary's River. Well, there we go. Now we know. I intentionally do not have my map location pinned to my weather app because I have a habit of showing it on stream, and once before I doxed myself and had to delete the VOD because it had latitude and longitude, and I was like, that's not great. So yeah. And on the weather website that I use, I've set my location to be like somewhere not where I am. And thankfully Jacksonville is like a really big city. So I don't feel bad point saying that I live in Jacksonville. Well, I mean I do because it's Jacksonville, but you know, like I feel safe saying Jacksonville. I didn't even realize until one of my friends was like, "Hey, you need to go and delete the VOD right now," and I was like, "Oh shit." I think I actually ended stream, started stream, so it was a fresh VOD, and then deleted it. I'm very appreciative of having friends who are aware enough to point out when I do dumb shit like that. I'm also like really careful when I post pictures that I don't include like street names or numbers on mailboxes or anything. Usually my pictures, if I take in my front yard, are like straight down or like up into the sky on the tree line or above. Even to a point where I'll try and make sure I don't get like mail, like you get like the ID numbers on lampposts. I try and avoid them. Oh yeah, no, for sure, especially where you are. I think any picture near where you are would absolutely be easy to track for sure. Know where you live. Not that I would ever divulge that. Oh, ever. Ever. But yeah. I remember um a friend doing that. She posted a picture of like it was literally just like the side of a building and someone's like, "Oh, hey, I found this based on like the buildings in the background." And she was like, "Oh." Don't tell everyone, Buffalo. Jeez. Now Drex is gonna have to move. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. You gotta keep it vague, you know. It's kind of weird that you have to think, like, you have to be aware of that sort of thing. It's bonkers. And what's even more crazy is people out there who don't think about shit like that. Like I'd never considered um the dangers of just like when you go out for lunch and you post a picture on social media of having lunch. So basically what you're doing is you're advertising where you are, how long you're going to be away from home for, and you know, making it easy for someone to find you. It's like, oh God, yeah. After I had that pointed out to me, I'm like, okay, now we don't post pictures until we're home and we make sure there's no stamps on them. And then you see people who will just casually post pictures of their kids, and I'm just like, oh God. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking, I was talking with my brother-in-law about it, about the difference, like the expectation of privacy that we had as little ones, um, as opposed to like my nephew who's 8. And, you know, like kids now, their entire childhoods, um, they're everything is online to see. Oh geez, yeah. Like there's been a couple of times where Flint has wanted to do like a live stream. Um and like I'm comfortable like if we want to like go to the zoo or something. Um but there was like one day where I wasn't prepared for it, where we went on like a shopping trip to like an outlet mall and stuff. And he was just testing out cameras and stuff, and I didn't think about it until afterwards that I was just like really uncomfortable because, you know, you're really putting yourself out there, like anyone, but especially as a woman. It's like, gotta be careful. Like at least the zoo is like a closed environment, so it's kind of harder for someone to, if you know, if someone means harm. But yeah, just walking around a busy city, like you know the what are the name, the two twins that live in New York. I always worry about them with their streams. I can't remember the name of them. They're really high energy, really they're super, their streams, their IRL streams are like really fun, but yeah, but there's two of them, so there's always, yeah, and you know, but you know that there's always like they're really aware situationally. They know the city, and there's two of them, so there's like protection. I think Molly's raided into them a couple of times. Hi, Jam. But I know I've had sort of had to explain to Flint a couple of times. It's like you've got to be careful. Like anyone has to be careful. Um, with where you do IRL streams. Well, the part of the problem when you're doing that sort of content, Buffalo, is that the draw is in the live interaction. So if you have like a massive stream delay, then you're not having that immediate to and fro like we are having here. So you can't be like, oh, hey, look at that person behind you, or, you know, like that bookshop or that cafe or whatever. So, and if you're going to do that, you may as well just do a VOD and just record it and upload it later rather than have a live stream. I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable. Well, I mean, I don't think that's got to do anything to do with being an old fart. It's just not an experience that you've had yourself. I definitely wouldn't do an IRL stream by myself anywhere. But no, I lie. In my backyard, yes. But yeah, like wandering around. If Flint's fine, Flint is like 6 foot something and built like a brick shit house. And no one's gonna mess with him unless it's someone trying to pick a fight, which happens. Um, yay, Jacksonville. But I definitely wouldn't by myself. He's like 6'3" and 6'4", and he's just like no one's pushing him over. Two, three, four. I'm good, thank you, Jim. How about yourself? It's been a weird We've been on a weird trip conversation-wise today. We've been all over the place. Just having a relaxy Sunday afternoon. Doing the crochet. I'm planning out my week ahead of me. How about yourself? Something is not right. Oh, you used the word hog. I'm like, why did that happen? Yeah. Well, I mean, in all honesty, he was probably fine. He was, well, a lot safer than if a woman did it. Go back from the aquarium and doing some stuff. Oh, that sounds nice. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. What was the best fish? Or mammal, or crustacean, or cephalopod? You know, not to put too fine a point on it. I went to the years ago, I went to the Georgia Aquarium and I fucking loved the beluga. They were the goofiest freaking things ever. I didn't really know anything about beluga whales. And then we wander up to the in Atlanta. The sea otters are pretty great. Stinky little things, but cute. Lutris, I think that's their Latin name. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect with the beluga, and then it was playing. It was just being like the biggest goofball. It was in its tank with its nose down and its ass up in the air, and it was like blowing bubbles. The damselfish were annoying. You're doing some cleaning and they kept, oh no, I don't think the foregone ottery conclusion. Well, now I have to look up a damselfish. Oh no, they're cute. They kept attacking you? Are they very territorial? Oh, they are. They guard things. They guard their nests, apparently. Apparently, the 3-spot damselfish is very defensive of its territory. Oh, how curious. Well, now we've learned things. I love that there's a heading on their wiki page called filial cannibalism. Oh, nature. I mean, it's not uncommon, but yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that about damselfish, but yeah, I love them. We had a neat aquarium back home called Kelly Talton's, and it was like super expensive, but they in New Zealand, but they had the under water tunnels. So you'd go through the tunnels and the rays would be going over you and stuff, which is kind of cool. The not so color, well, the ones on that wiki page were all kind of grays and blues. That's what's happening there. As he can on. For a brief moment there, as a youngin. Hi, hello, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I wanted to be a marine biologist like every other 10-year-old girl, but I was obsessed with shells. Like I was really, really taken with shellfish. And I would spend hours and hours drawing any shell that I could get my hand on. I was so fascinated by the idea of these creatures living inside these shells. And I'd get so mad because everyone's like, oh, of course you want to be a marine biologist. It's all about the whales. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Shells. Shells. Right. But you still have those memories, Buffalo. And that's pretty cool. I remember I've only been to a few aquariums. I went to one in DC. And I was underwhelmed. But then after seeing the Atlanta, like the Georgia Aquarium, I was just like, oh well. London's one was a bit rubbish as well, to be honest. But the thing is, those aquariums don't just they're not just there for, you know, everyone to look at the pretty fishies. A lot of them are research facilities as well, right? Research and conservation. I'm assuming. Oh, this color is so pretty. Yeah. Sorry, I just thought I heard someone outside. Hi, Gloria. Might Marine and the Tampa Aquarium. Hi, Tova. And Sarasota. Do you know, I've still never been to, I've never been down to Tampa or Sarasota. Wow. 1 second, we have a challenged driver. Sorry about that. We had a delivery driver who was a little lost. Whew. Yeah, I've not been to a lot of Florida, a lot of places around here actually. I've heard about ringlings from my mum-in-law, I think. Hey, gamer cat. Hello? Oh, it's bloody chilly out there right now. Poor driver. I saw you were playing Timberborn. How was it? Hello, welcome in everyone. Hi. I'm Dallas Delirium. My pronouns are she, her. We're doing crochet today. I hope you had fun playing Timberborn. I'm assuming from your title that you've played it before and you were just like really into it. Good, I'm so glad. Yeah, oh my god, the ziplines are amazing. I've done like, I have no idea where that is. I've been down to Fort Lauderdale for work, and I have some family near Orlando. But that's basically it south of where I am in St. Augustine. But I've been out of state more than I have anywhere around Florida, really. Um, I think the only thing on the West Coast that only place on the West Coast I've been to is Cedar Key, a poor little town. You're in hard mode? Oh my wow. Yeah, I'm up in the northeast. So, oh, my knuckle is feeling weird. Yeah, if I get much further north, I'd end up in Georgia. But yeah, most of my travels have been north rather than south. Oh, I should. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gamer Cat, if you need to go do post stream self care, please do what you got to do. But obviously you're welcome to hang out as well. South of St. Pete, okay. I have a vague idea of where that is. Very vague. What are the two things in that box? Oh, okay. Oh my god, I'm pulling static shocks off everything today. And just being weird. All right. Turning chain. Okay, good. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Oh, look at this color, this little variant here. This is pretty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying making it. When I started it, I was concerned that it was beyond my abilities, but I'm having a blast making it. It's slow going. Everything takes twice as long when I'm streaming. But that works in my favor because it means that my hands get a rest. So it's the start of a shawl, which looks... That's true, gamer. This is a picture from the pattern. Yeah, it looks, there's a lot of, like, that one looks really coral. In this color, it reminds me of like forest or, you know, the ocean with these colors coming through, the occasional sort of splashes of purple and blues. But yeah, I can definitely see the coral seaweed as well. So it's not been fast. This is my sixth session with it at about, I don't know, 5 hours a pop. Or about 30 hours of work so far, give or take. Probably closer to like 27, 28 at this point. But we're taking our time. Yeah, the yarn and the pattern, they've just kind of connected together perfectly. Some of the pictures that they've included in the pattern are, there's a really pretty orange and red gradient which looked like fire. I was tempted by that sort of option, but as soon as I saw this yarn, I had to have it. This particular yarn was sitting in my shopping cart online for months, and then I saw the pattern and I was like, these two belong together. But it's quite an interesting pattern. It's done in short rows and it's all back loop, slip stitches and back loop. So it's quite dense. And I'm using a larger hook than they were calling for the yarn, and it's still quite dense because I've got high tension. But if you do, for anyone interested in YouTube or on Twitch, if you do !@ shawl in chat, it'll bring up a link for the pattern and the yarn. They're just direct links to the individual thing. Thanks, Gloria. I think this is 7. Well, there's this little game that you might have heard of, Jim, called Dyson Sphere Project. That's on sale. Might have heard of that one. Yeah, great game. Of course you do. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even really looked at I don't look at Steam sales anymore. See what's on my wish list. Goblins of Elderstone apparently is on sale. Within the Cosmos, those are both on sale on my wish list. Eden Crafters, Analords. Why do I have Foundation? Don't I already have Foundation? Norland, squirreled away. Stationeers is on sale. What is up with my wish list? My wish list is like automation, city builder, shop sim, pretty much. That's about it. I just sworn I already had Foundation. I don't know why it's on my wish list. Unless I got like a beta key. Oh, I think Flint has it. I have it because of Flint. I don't think I've played it. Wait, no, I have played it. I played it for 4 hours. Is this the one? Is that the one where you paint like you basically paint an area and then the houses will just like fit in organically? You paint, yeah, okay. Yeah. Game keys from, yeah, no, I get that too, Drax. It's kind of annoying when that happens. I definitely hit a goal and then I was like a particular twist target and I was like, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm good. Okay, so maybe don't get Foundation. But yeah, there's definitely been a couple of games on my wish list and I'm like, wait, no, I have that. Okay. Well, now you've got me looking at my wish list, Jim. Like looking at my wish, I think Squirreled Away looks pretty entertaining. And I have Eden Crafters on here. I don't know if I'm supposed to have Eden Crafters on still. Eden Crafters just looks like all those other automation type games. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This should be 16. Okay, perfect. You know, I don't remember the sound. But these earbuds don't give me like a full range. So that might be it. I really don't remember that. For some reason, that reminded me to check and see what the status is of the mods I want for Vintage Story. Not Pipe Leaf. You hear about Pipe Leaf? Gave up on that mod. I'm almost at 200 downloads on Silly Shivers. It's ridiculous. I'm like, why? That means there are 43 people who have recently downloaded and voluntarily chosen to hear terrible clown sounds in their game. I have concerns. And 91 people have downloaded the Handsome Drifters fix. Do we have... When was the most recent expanded foods? December 13th. That's ages ago. I mean, I guess, but still. I wonder how long it'll be before I can just do the pattern without keeping track. It must be the last leaf. No, there's still one more. $18 with 8 left. 1, 2, 3. Wait, someone's added a bath time mod? That's amazing. Oh my god. Look at this. This reminds me of Medieval Dynasty. They do seem to restock quite often, Gloria, so it's worth, like, I bookmarked that page and went back a couple of times. And they do sales pretty often with like cheap delivery too. Their delivery prices are not very good normally. I know, but the thing is, everyone's stinky, so it doesn't matter, does it? If everyone stinks to high heaven, then nobody's going to notice it. The idea is just to be stinkier than the other person so you can't smell them. That's when you've got like green particle effect when you get stinky. I love that. I love what people think of for mods for this. But yeah, every now and then, like, I remember when I got, yeah, that's the time, because otherwise they tend to charge, like, they don't have a flat rate for shipping. So I would have bought, I was going to buy 4 skeins of this. I know, I think I originally looked at getting like just a couple of skeins of this, and then I was going to get more, and then the shipping cost was like $5 something, and I was like, okay, well, if it's that much, I might as well add an extra skein. And the shipping cost was just going up because they go by weight, I guess, rather than flat rate. And I was like, well, I'm just going to wait till they're on sale now. But they do have sales quite often, thankfully. Oh man, there's some fun new ones on here. Titanium tools, that's interesting. Someone's made a diving suit. Oh no, that's really cute. Okay, we're not browsing. We're not. I'm not browsing mods while I'm supposed to be streaming. I mean, I'm not right now anymore. No, but we're not right now. I'm crocheting, Ravi. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? The only thing I will say about this yarn, if for anyone who's looking at getting it, I have a problem with this yarn that 2 friends of mine don't, and that it tends to bunch and it twists. It doesn't, I have 2 friends who have used this yarn and they have no problem, but for me, this stuff bunches and twists like nobody's business. And I'm constantly fighting it. It's worth it though. But it does take a little bit of attention to stop it from being an asshole. I don't know. Yeah, some of the yarns that people have picked for this project really make it pop, and then others just kind of it gets lost. Like the texture of the stitch gets lost. Yeah, I don't know, because it just, like, I found when I first used it, I was trying to do center pull and it was just, it was horrific. And then I switched to using the butler and going from an outer pull, and it's much better, but like you can still see that it's, you know, actively twisting. But I did find out that I can literally, I can pull it taut and then strum it like a guitar string, and it like just sort of distributes it and stretches it out, which is better than what I was doing to start off with. But I don't know, like Luna and Siri haven't had any problems. Siri was like, I wonder if it's just that cake. So yeah, I mean the vibration is working. It works a treat. But it is quite odd. I've tried like turning my project a different way at the end of each row and stuff, and nothing really made any difference. But I figured out a solution, so it's not like it's a problem. No, I don't want that. Where am I? Oh. One, two, 16. I'm enjoying that it's now getting to a point where I have to like think about the way I fold it to keep it on the desk. Right, that sound is to remind us all that we have an ad break coming up in less than 30 seconds. So if you haven't had a break and looked away from your computer in the last, I don't know, hour or so, consider doing that. Take a break, put your work down if you're crafting alongside me at home. Have a break, and I'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to go walk around and I'll see you soon. Brr. Oh lord, this is bright on the camera. Here it is. I've lost a thing. I put something down. Oh, I found it. Okay. I'll plug my chair in. Oh god, it's glowing. Hi, Scott. How you doing? Welcome in. I like this because look, it's got intentional thumb holes. God, it's such a different color between the two cameras. How bizarre. All right, so we did the set with the turning chain. Save it. Can we get through there? Yeah, we can. Perfect. I am working on a shawl. And a really interesting short row technique that has little leaves. Not counting right now, so I can stop and do. That is the pattern and the yarn that I'm using. But yeah, it's this colorway is absolutely gorgeous. Mega, hi. Hello, Fran. Er, There, there. How are you this evening? Ooh, I like that. You've entered story safe. Ooh. Did you do any big changes to world creation or cannot remember the order of the stitches that go in this make 4. Increase force. Slip stitch into the loop. Single. Okay. That. And then that. Painting single chain. Turning chain. Here we go. I have to remind myself of that all the time. Hi Tina, good to see you again. Welcome back. I mean, easy mode is good. I'm all about the easy mode life. Did you happen to download the latest Handsome Drifters mod that a certain streamer you know may have updated? Not mentioning any names. You know, very important. Not that everyone needs drifters and tuxedos, but this pattern is so pretty. It's still only really good for a shawl for like a doll. It's not big enough for a people yet. I'm having anxiety about whether it's actually going to be like whether 5 skeins is enough or 5 cakes. What else have I created? I've made a few things. I've done a lot of amigurumi, so like little plushy toys, blankets, scarves, lots of bees, lots and lots of bees. I've made one cardi myself, which is this thing, which is a hexagon cardigan, so it wasn't particularly challenging. This is like the most difficult thing that I've made though, I think. Not most difficult, technical, the most technical thing I've made. It's an interesting process. I won't be upset, Mega, if you don't install my drifters mod. It's okay. This is just crazy how it's made. The funny thing is, neither this color or how it shows on this camera is accurate. Webcams be like that. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I want to do winter story wise. I think I'm gonna hold off until the foods mod is updated, because that's the thing that I just find myself missing constantly. And I can play without it, and I have been playing without it, but I enjoy it too much. It's like, it's a part of the experience that I enjoy. I think I'm just gonna before I start any new game, you save. Or for a server, I'm just going to wait for those mods to update. Which is fine, because we've got like plenty to do on the server. Why are you being like that? My hand's getting a bit sore and I can feel it making things a little more awkward. I don't want to stop though. I've been waiting to work on this all week. Okay, so this should be 20. 3, 4. Oh. Okay, so that's the last leaf in that row. The rest of the section is going to be building out the bottom ribbing again. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay. Nine and 10. Decrease. Or 8. Ooh. Oh, why it's my left hand that's been mad at me this time. Okay, bring it into here. That. Standing single. Chain. A turning chain. I don't have any fixed plans on what we're playing next week. But I feel like it's gonna be there's gonna be a likelihood of maybe a little Dyson sphere popping in. Whoops. Which I'm sure you'll all be very, very, very shocked to hear. Shenanigans? I would never. Only serious business on this channel. No shenanigans. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 19, 12, 13, 15. Oh, color is so pretty. Save. I'm really glad I started using different colored marker on this PDF. Basically, each time I work on this and mark off the PDF, I use a different colored marker to edit it. And so I can see, like, basically going back through the pattern, I can see like which session, like how many stitches I did which session, but it makes it easier to keep track of where I am. So I think I need to start doing a date with the colors at the top of the pattern or somewhere just to like keep track, because there's only so many colors on the palette. And it's going to take a while to get through all that. Oh my lord. Stop that. I'm just being difficult for no reason. Okay. So the increase is near here and there. And then there, I think. Hmm. Slip stitch. Oh, we're just going to stitch the end of the row and see what we've got. Okay, so I should have third. This seems too many. Wait, wait, wait. Oh, well, first of all, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Why was I looking at that? Okay, let's try this again, but actually paying attention to what I'm doing. Two. Even 9. Oh, okay, yes, that is what we're supposed to have. Ending single. Bang. Bang. Apparently, if you pay attention to what you're doing, you don't make as many mistakes. It's like a conspiracy to me. Wait, what is going on here? Here. Okay, I may have fucked up, but that's okay. We can make it up if we need to. Eating. Okay, so we should have 18 in this row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Make a stitch here. This yarn is so finicky with frogging, I'd rather just add a stitch or do a decrease to make everything balanced. Hi Crash, how you doing? Turning chain. We are crocheting. This is crochet. With a hook. Knitting, you use 2 knitting needles that look somewhat like this. Or similar to this, but basically with a point. used to be able to knit. Means you probably still can if you have brain and hands that cooperate, that is. I know sometimes these things change over time. We're working on a crocheted shawl. And it's a delight to work on. Colors and the pattern. Definitely tell my hands are getting mad at me today. Make it a short one today. maybe, yeah. I don't think that's ever going to get old, Ravi. Ever. Thank you. You're beating their birthday gift. Amazing. Well, aren't they? They're lucky to have a wonderful homemade gift made for them. That's so cool. Yeah, F this yarn. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 18, 19, 20. We have exactly the right number of stitches we're supposed to have. Okay, I'll be right back. All right. I'm gonna call it there because apparently I ate something that made my tumbly mad. But we're at least at the end of a row. That's a good thing. So thank you. So if you are interested in crochet, I like to try and do a craft stream once a week on a Sunday from around 4 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, I usually play games on stream between Wednesdays and Saturdays from 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you're new to the community and you want to hang out, I'll be around from Wednesday. Tomorrow and Tuesday are my days off. Who's on right now? Oh, I need to stop raids. That's right. I've been working on an elimination diet. Yeah, I think cocoa is a good call to try and figure out if I've got food triggers right now. And I'm pretty sure I figured a food trigger for my stomach. Yeah, man, it's pretty quiet on Twitch tonight, huh? Yeah, cocoa's always good. All right. I'm gonna send you guys over to see the lovely Coco. Coco is playing Void Stranger. I don't know what this game is, but Coco is a really lovely bean. It's a slow news. You know what? Slow news is good news as far as I'm concerned. Let's get this going. If you would like to join us here. Hey, I updated the stream deck. Here's the raid messages if you want to copy and paste one of them into Coco's chat. And like I said, I'll be back on Wednesday from around 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what we're going to do next week. We'll just play it by ear. Thank you all for hanging out with me while we crochet and while I got on my weird kiwi flavored soapbox about weird shit. I appreciate you all. Yeah, we just F it. It'll be fine. Revy. Language. Just gonna make sure I save my pen. Okay, you all have a wonderful start to the week. Remember to be kind to yourselves and to others because you don't know what everyone's going through. Someone might just be grumpy and they may just be having a rough day. No. Just be kind. And I'll see you all in a couple of days. Make sure you take good care of yourself. I'll know if you don't. Also, eat cookies. Bye. Good night, YouTube.